Hello, no countdown timer today. We are just going live and jumping in. Actually, I just totally forgot to put the countdown timer on because I looked at the time and went, I was just sitting here knitting, like, la, 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 la. Oops, my volume is loud. Let's turn that right down. There we go. Okay, so can you see me? Can you hear me? All that sort of stuff. I've got a totally new setup here, except I'm still running off the old laptop. So I am watching the thermal speeds to see if it drops out. Because my overhead camera won't work on the new Mac Mini. It's being a buttocks, and I just didn't have the energy to deal with that. So sorry. Yeah. So good morning. Hello. Welcome to the Fiberific Live Craft and Chat, where we craft and chat live. I nearly had a heart attack then. Freaky's like, nope, I can't see or hear, but you're fine. So, yeah, I'm all good. So thank you. Thank you. I do sit here kind of panicking until someone lets me know, like, did it work? Did it work? Did it work? Because it is kind of a little bit of wizardry, all of this working and happening. Sally's like, to do with what? Two words. Excellent. I'm coming through loud and clear. Thank you so much, you guys. So one thing that I'll say is yesterday the Mac Mini arrived, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll set it all up, blah, 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 blah. But then I had a really busy day, and then I didn't get a chance to sort of play with anything until I had a little play yesterday afternoon. But then I didn't have a chance to sort of rearrange the desk and everything until last night. And I'm sort of like crawling into bed 1:45 going, I don't know if that was the best use of my time. And then this morning, like, because I couldn't get the overhead camera to work on the new system. I mean, it plugs in and it works, but it looks like I'm swimming underwater. And so that was kind of doing my head in. So I just sort of was like, I'm just going to plug the other one back in. The whole point of this setup was to make it so I could actually switch from each one really easily. So, I mean, that works. I'm happy with that. That works. So it is easy enough. I mean, I'm like, okay, I've got to do something to try and, make it a little easier. But for the most part, it works pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with it. I've just got to, make sure that I've got the Windows laptop has to go to the doctors to find out why it keeps crashing and being naughty. It is old. It does get a lot of use. It probably needs some new thermal paste or something. But yeah, we'll see. So much is going on. Christmas is coming. A couple of days ago, we worked out that we went from a really basic small low-key Christmas to the full family Christmas that's happening here. So I've kind of got a lot to do, tidying and sorting, and I still have stock from the shop all through my living room and dining room and an entry of my house. So I'm like, okay, gotta find places for all this stuff. You see my sweet Christmas tree? Oh, thank you for noticing. It was technically there last week, but I had it kind of like in here, and so you could only just barely see it. So yeah, it's definitely a new setup. But I've got my new monitor set up, and I'm using that. That's kind of cool. It's on the articulated arm. I have an issue with it, which I've got to try and fix, but that involves a trip to Bunnings, and I didn't have time for that. So I definitely I want to play with that a little bit more, but I'm so happy I've got it sort of angled a little bit so my glasses reflect less of it. So that's cool. I'm happy with that. And it's so clear that it's easier to read, which I absolutely love. So what are you guys all working on right now? So I've got my, I'm still working on the Listato, reverse Listato. Is that what it's called? I can never remember its name. Reversible Listato. Yes, there we go. I was right. From Laura Nelken. I believe the links are in. They may not be, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I may not have grabbed them. But if not, I will add them in. So the Listato cowl, it is a Laura Nelken. It's just so nice to work on. Honestly, it's like last week, you guys know I had the little drama with the missing stitch. I ended up finding a second one, same problem. So I obviously am not watching enough when I'm doing my yarn overs. So I am going to make sure I do a better job of that going forward. So yeah. And I have moved all of the cameras, so you've got to let me know if everything is clear, if you can see, because it got to the point where it's like, you know what, I've just got to go. I've just got to make this happen, and not worry too much about, you know, the stuff. Just do. Artsog. Thank you, Artsog, for becoming a new member. If I can get the mouse to work. Hello, mouse. There we go. Artsog is a new channel member. I don't know if the member thing's going to work. There we go. We've got new member from Artsog. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that so much. It is awesome. So hide that and change back to this. Kelly says, totally not reflective of both sets of glasses you've got to set on your head too, or they are instead of a headband. You should have seen how fluffy my hair was this morning. And I'm like, Abby, do we have a Christmas headband somewhere? And she's like, yeah, but it's in storage with all the Christmas decorations. I was like, oh. So I was just like, I've got to do something, because it was like, it was crazy today. It was so crazy. But yeah, I love not reflecting off my glasses. It makes the world of difference. It makes me feel better. Like, I know you guys don't care, but I care. It is easy to miss the yarn overs, especially when I'm like chatting and doing and all the things. So it definitely easy to keep going. Kathy, I just noticed that you are started on your Queen 3. That is amazing. Your chart 3 of your Queen, I should say, but that is awesome. Congratulations for kicking over the next chart. Freaky says, I'm not working on nothing till I get a new drive bend for the wheel, but I started collecting fiber for blending and spinning. That's awesome, Freaky. That's so good. I'm just having a quick look here. Freaky says, I'm scared to go shopping. If food prices are through the roof, I can only imagine what gift prices are. We've just decided just to sort of pare back the gifts a little. That's all. You know, there's only so much money, and you can't put yourself in a bad position. So, you know, just do what we can do. Leanne says, I've just wound some hand dyed. I've given myself permission to ignore my Queen again. I mean, I am totally not the person to judge on that one. Dolores is knitting some socks. So you've knit all of those Christmas stockings, but now you're going to knit some socks. That is awesome. That's so cool. Oh, Sally, you're a champion. So the reversible Listato cow pattern is there. I will make sure that I'll go in and add it in for those of you watching the replay. I'll make sure I add that in. And also Laura Nelkin's YouTube channel. She has some really fantastic tutorials on there. It's actually normally the first place I need to, like, if there's some weird stitch and I'm like, what is this? I normally double check Laura's videos because she does them so clearly. Yeah, and I like how she teaches. You know how we all have like different teachers that we like how they teach, or some that we don't like how they teach. Well, Laura's one of those people that I love how they teach. I think her class was one of the first classes that I bought from Craftsy back in the day. And her fixing knitted mistakes video, like, that is an absolute gold mine. Like, that's a gold mine. It is one of those videos that it should just about be necessary reference material for every beginner knitter, because it's so daunting when you make a mistake on how to fix it without it ruining everything else. And it's just so much work that Laura actually goes in step by step and shows you how to fix it and how to fix it properly, which I just love. And not just fudge it. You know, sometimes it's just fudging, it's worth the effort because your brain can't deal with anything more than that. Other times you need to, because you just can't unsee the mistake, you have to fix it. The socks are for hubby and my daughter, not the whole fam, the kind of have a running order each year for Christmas. Okay, so it's like they know it's going to happen. So that's pretty cool as well. This year I've actually made a few gifts, which I am shocked about, and you guys should be shocked as well, because like, I just, you know, me and handmade gifts, I normally don't get them done in time. but I'm on schedule. I've got like 1, 2, 3 people sorted. And then I'm still working on the blanket for Dad. But it looks like Dad's not going to come down for Christmas. So I might just have a little bit more time on that one. 2, 4, 6, 2, 1. Yeah, excellent. Gamer Widows is listening as she packs orders. Oh my gosh. Gamer Widows has been making the amazing humbugs. I've moved all mine. They're all over there now. That's annoying. Do I not have even my one for this project handy? Well, that's dumb. So if you like Gamer Widows' humbugs, which like if you came to the Fiberific retreat, they were the little notions bags that Gamer Widows gave us all at the retreat. She's now added them to her Etsy store. So if you want humbugs, they are an awesome, awesome gift for if you're looking for something to give a crafter, because it is just the best little pouch, honestly. I love that it's handmade. I love that it's not plastic. I love that I can fit my scissors into it. And I measured my scissors yesterday. I have sort of, my scissors are over 5 inches long. They are 13 centimeters, and they fit inside the pouch. I'm going to go and get my pouch. I mean, you guys have seen me talk about the pouches before, but I'm going to go and get a pouch, and I'm going to talk about it again. Hang on a second. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 5. Just double checking. This is where my mistake was. I left the marker there so I could double check that I was happy with it. Kelly, you're so right. They fit a deceptive amount of stuff into them. So where is my pouch for this project? Okay, I have grabbed a selection of the pouches that I have. Just move this aside. And the thing I love, right, Emma, listening, is your choice of fabrics and your zippers, because it's so easy just to go, oh yes, whatever zipper's gonna work. But you always pick the zipper that works for the fabric. Do you know what I mean? And I love like a lot of my linings are this, but I love this fabric. And I love that you go to the effort to French seam so there's no open raw edges. Like, I hate raw edges so much. So knowing that there's no raw edges in there for anything to get caught on, I just like the effort that goes into making these. I can't even imagine. So this is the one that I have just got all my spare stuff shoved into. So it's just like stitch markers and chibis and more stitch markers. So that's where I keep all my spare chibis and stitch markers, in the cupcakes. And then in this one is the for the blanket that I'm making. This is the pouch I've got in there. I wonder where my extra chibis have gone. I've got a highlighter. I've got a pair of scissors, and I've got my crochet hook, right? And it all goes in really easily. And there's still tons of room in there. Like, and the scissors can totally go in flat if I put them in the other way. So, which I normally do. So there you go. And there's still like an absolute boatload of room if you want to put more in there. I mean, I like to make it so I can dig around quite easily, but everyone is different. And I just love the fabrics, like little sock monkeys, cupcakes, and pots of tea. I love this one. I didn't realize how much I was going to love it until it arrived, honestly. I just love it so much. And the little caravans. Yeah, I'm a tragic now. So thanks for that, Emma. So I'm trying to make everybody else a tragic as well, so that Emma doesn't think I'm weird. All right, everybody. So if you are looking for something to gift a crafter, or you've got a new crafter in your life who, you know, someone who's just started up and they don't have a little notions pouch, I highly recommend you go and grab one or two and some stitch markers. Leslie said, oh, hang on, back to that one. Leslie said, I bought a couple of these little beauties yesterday thinking of starting a humbug collection. Me too. I've got another one over there that Emma made for me in some not safe for work fabric, which I really appreciate, but I can't show on camera. Which I absolutely love. And that one's going to my mum for Christmas because she loves them for putting in her little packets, like little sheets of pills, so that she's got something cute in her bag that doesn't look like it's medical. So yeah, it is very, very funny. So and that's the other thing. If you've got a particular, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you've got a particular fabric that you've got an idea for or something like that, or you want to ask if she's got like some fabric from another project that she hasn't made into a humbug yet, just send her a message. And I mean, you know, she'll get back to you when she can, but quite often it's like, oh yeah, actually here's a photo of some fabric I've got. Will this one be all right? And I love it. I just love, love, love. Yeah, this one here, is that the one you're talking about, Sally? Because I just didn't expect to love it as much as I do. I love it so much. It's got little gnomes, a little wishing well. It's just beautiful. I'm not a floral person, but I just love it. It's a little woodlands thing. I just love it. Emma says she keeps her inhalers in there. Absolutely. Yeah, I now have 6. I own 6. Emma, Kelly's like, I'm a tragic. I have 3 and want more. Totally love my project bag too. Oh yes, I've got a couple of project bags and a spindle sleeve, which I just love. Leanne says, I'm super excited to receive 4 more in the post to go with my retreat one. It's surprising how much fits in a humbug. Absolutely. Francis says, this week is my last week of teaching, so I've been getting a few chocky gifts, but the best was an enormous bunch of flowers from her grandma's garden. They would smell amazing, I bet. Oh, wow. Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, Leanne. I love that you said that. Which one is it? Because you've just reminded me that I've got 2 in here that I meant to stick on to stuff. And it's so I know that which one's for actually a project versus which one. Because Emma makes her stitch markers. You can choose whether they've got a little lobster claw or whether they just have a lobster claw or a ring. And if you get the lobster claw, you can totally add it onto the zipper, which I'm going to do right now. I don't know if these ones are Emma's ones or not. I think they are. At least one of them is. But I put them aside for this particular task. So there you go. So you can bling it up. Give it the blings. And then also if you need like an emergency stitch marker, there's one right there. I totally have never needed an emergency stitch marker. Hang on, I'm struggling with my no fingernails. There we go. All right, so now I have my things are done. This is it. That baby. Look at that, just hanging out there. And I put on, like, we got Clay gave us these pins from retreat. So this is my one from retreat. So it's got all the extra retreat stuff on it. Anyway, back to the knitting. Some thumbs up are needed, are they? Oh, and I've just realized my little thing over here is in top chat and not live chat, so we'll change that. What have you guys got in your cup? Because it turns out, like, I have a few cups. So I've got coffee in this one. I also have some of my T2 tea and I have water. Those of you that are worrying that I'm hydrating, I'm totally hydrating. I'm just watching the temperature on my laptop. It just crept up. Oh no, it's just dropped back down again. I've got the fan blowing right next to it so the fans of the laptop can suck through the cool air conditioned air. We're trying to keep it running. It crashed again yesterday. I've got like the bare minimum running. So yes. Freaky says, I like the lobster claw, but I find the small ones just too small to manage. I think that Emma has a couple of options of which size lobster claws. Those bags look great. I love the floral one. Me too. I just didn't think it was going to be for me, and it totally is. There we go. I've just made a cup of tea. There's coffee. Oh, that's the other thing. My stutter has been playing up something fierce over the last sort of week. My brain's running at 100 miles an hour. I'm trying to do too many things. Knitspin Girl says, I keep a couple of emergency stitch markers on my shoes. Okay, that's righto. That works. Drinking ginger peach tea. That sounds delicious. That sounds so good. Is that a hot tea or a cold tea? Although it's winter for you, Kathy, so I'm going to assume it's hot tea. I can imagine that as a cold tea though, because it's really hot here. So I'm just like, I'm melting. And we have the right number of stitches. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 5. Excellent. We fixed it. Oh, yes, the nurse says less coffee. Yes, absolutely. I do make sure I drink my 2 liters a day, as well as all my tea and all my coffee. I just drink a lot of liquids. I spend a lot of time toddling off to the bathroom. A bit of an overshare, but okay. Yeah. I actually talked to my doctor. I'm like, do I have diabetes? I'm like, I drink a lot. And they're like, are you like ridiculously thirsty all the time? And I'm like, no, I just like to drink lots, like lots of liquids. And he's like booze. And I'm like, no, just like I drink a lot of tea and a lot of coffee and a lot of water. And I'm concerned that maybe I'm having too much. So we did all the tests and I'm like, nope, you're fine. You're not even like pre-scary stuff. I was like, okay. And he was like, what do you mean by you drink a lot? And I told him, and he's like, yeah, okay, that's a lot, but that's also awesome. I was like, okay. I'm like, is it dangerously too much? It's like you could afford to drink a couple of less cups of coffee a day. I'm like, judgy much? Summer has hit with a vengeance, hasn't it? What? It went, I started off slow and I had some really cold days that confused everybody. So I just need you to be clear. It is summer because it's 37 degrees. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. Thanks for that in my non-air conditioned studio. I totally appreciate that. What temperature are we at right now? Like here, hang on. I'm just going to just check the temperature because it is warm. It could just be warm here. Oh, Louis, thanks very much. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and it's 30 degrees. Abby, can you deal with that, please? Thank you, honey. I've got to get back to the screen of screens. It's right there. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, it's 30 degrees. If you don't float away, yeah. What am I making? I'm making the reversible listato cowl from Laura Nelkin. So yeah. The pattern, Sally's popped the pattern into the chat. It looks like I have forgotten to add it into the description, which I will remedy before the replay, like after we finish here, but you know, when the replay goes out. But yeah, it's one of those like cruisy patterns, and Laura is like just an absolute champion. Leanne says, some love this weather, not me. Yeah, me neither. It's 5 degrees C for Freaky. Can I come and hang out at yours? Because it's too hot here. Sally's only 17 where she is, so that's cool. Just says, my doctor asked me how much coffee I drink. Just 1 cup. I just didn't tell him the cup was 700 mils. Fair enough. That's fair enough. So we've discussed this before, but I'm going to discuss it again. So Crochet with Claire and myself have a new venture happening early next year. We had a big meeting yesterday about it, which was awesome. And we have some plans in place, getting ready to book in our first session of recording for our podcast. So it will be available for audio for YouTube, and there'll be another sneaky announcement later, much later. So just remind me of that in, a month. And It's going to be so fun. We were laughing ourselves silly yesterday. Like, we're such professionals. And so it's called the Yarny Girls podcast. We're going to be talking like all the Yarny stuff, trying to solve the Yarny problems of the world with our very serious natures that we both have. So if you want to come over and support us there, we're trying to make it so that we can, so that the podcast can support the time that we're both going to add into it. So we are hoping to monetize the channel sooner rather than later. So if you can go over there and subscribe to that, that would be amazing. I know there's nothing there for you to see yet, but there will be soon. It'll be coming very soon. And it also like really encourages both of us. So Claire sends me these messages like just with like a number, and then it's just like, oh my God. And so she's really watching how many people are subscribing and keeping a really close eye on that for us, which is awesome. But yeah, it's, you know, we're going to make it either way, honestly. So there's a link there in the chat, the Yarny Girls link for the YouTube channel for the podcast. So yeah, it will be so much fun. And you know, you guys all know both of us, so you know, you guys can have a fair idea of what kind of shenanigans that you can expect from us. Oops, I can't seem to count to 6 today. I keep going to 7. I'll tell you what, one of the things I changed on my desk situation here was I moved everything over. So there was this huge amount of wasted space in one corner. And I was sitting here this morning with like this sea of space, like, man, I wish I had done this when I was working on the Queen. So yeah, subscriber number 144. A dozen, that's gross. Yes, it is. No, I'm kidding. Freaky. So Claire with numbers, it actually excites her rather than stresses her out. It's when numbers drop that she gets stressed out. So, you know, as long as you guys keep the numbers going up, she'll be happy. Thank you, Chintamani and John, for both subscribing. Okay, I'm on to the next. Oops. Come on, little thingy. There we go. All right, so I just got to, just give me a little second while I work out what I've got to do here. Okay. All righty, cool. Yes, I know. I was being snarky, John. Snarky. Yeah. So, you know, we've got that happening. I've got big Christmas happening, which wasn't going to be happening, but is now happening. So I'm like in menu planning mode and cleaning mode, and just, you know, like Abby went out and picked us up some extra. What's that for?
Show them.
Oh, okay. You just throw stuff at me. Show them. All right, I'll show them.
Bye.
Abby's in the background. She's in her pajamas, so she can't come on camera. So on Sunday, I noticed that Claire's new, her new tutorial had dropped, and to make face scrubbies. My purple ones are just over there. I can't reach them. But I originally made 3 purple ones just in some Bendigo 8-ply cotton. They're just in that little bowl there. If you lift that to the wooden bowl, just on this table, just here, over here. Wooden bowl, if you lift that stuff out. Oh, they must be under that paper. Well, because I was putting all the presents together to see whether the presents were... Oh. Okay, well, I don't know where they are. They're somewhere. They're with the rest of Nana's presents. So... But anyway, so I did a white one, a light purple, and a dark purple. I've got photos over on the IG. If you're not following me on IG, why not? And then I realized, I was like, hang on a second. If I used a thick, because I was like, I need more 4-ply cotton. I want to get I want to get a third color so I can hold 2 together and try and get a squishier 8-ply, because I was using an 8-ply cotton for the others. So I was digging around for my 4-ply cotton and couldn't find it. Realized I don't have any except for grey. That's not going to work. And then I was like, I've got more cotton. And then I realized I had some, this is Spotlight Flinders cotton. So that's an Australian big box store. And it's just an 8-ply cotton. It's a bit squishier than the Bendigo 8-ply because, you know, those of us in the know that Bendigo don't know what 8-ply is apparently. It's still good cotton. It's just thin. And I had 6 colors. And so I made these 6 and then Abby bags them. So I made 6 more. So I've actually got another 6 out in the lounge room that Abby may or may not know about. So, oh, okay. It's like, oh, and I can knock over 6 in about an hour. It's a fantastic gift. So, like, if you've got like a teenager in your life, I reckon like a pile of these and like a really nice pump of like a micellar water or something like that would be like a really good sort of like basic gift. What do you think?
You can put them in the cup holders of your car.
Oh,
That's what I did.
Abby's put 2 as cup holders in her in my car, and she's told me that when she gets her car, she will be doing the same there. So, Abby, I'll give you these back so they don't get mixed up with mine.
Thanks, Shani.
Don't call me Shani. A rainbow of scrubbies. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Thank you, Sally, for sharing my IG. Appreciate that. John's like, the wooden bowl, Abby. The bowl made of wood. It used to be a tree, but now it's a bowl made of wood. Oh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but the face, it's the face wipes pattern for Crochet with Claire. That's right. And I actually, like, do you guys remember when I went and made some squishier ones, some thick ones, and I use these as coasters, and I actually think these are these are good coasters, but I think the others are better for face scrubbies. So, speaking of getting things off a coaster. Nah, Sally, you're here to have a good time. You just bonus here to drop links. Bonus here. Oh, hang on. I was not watching what I'm supposed to be doing. Make sure you do what the pattern says, not just what you feel like. Or next row you'll suffer. Oh, next row you won't suffer. It's the row after you'll suffer. So yeah. So I managed to fix up this mess that I made, which was great. Definitely taught me to be a little bit more present when I'm knitting lace. It's been a while since I've knitted lace, so I hadn't really considered what I was doing. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying being back into it. John saying I put napkins in my cup holders, soak up the spilled coffee. I drive a Subaru, so the drive to work is always in Rallycross. Oh my gosh. Oh, Chintami is asking if anyone has a good pattern for a water jug cover. So if you've got one, pop it over in the fun zone, and Chintami can check it out over there. You're talking like those fine mesh covers that have the beads around it to hold it on. I used to buy them like at you know, every now and again, probably around Christmas, there would be like the stalls that they're just a table outside like the post office and stuff, and where some local craft group, or in my brain's going little old lady. But I know it's not always the case, but like I was 15 or 16 at the time, so it seemed like they were little old ladies. And they would always be selling them, and I just loved them, and I used to get them all the time and my mum was like, how many jugs do you think we have? Honestly, I'm like, I like them, they're pretty. Sally has an excellent reminder for us. If you have anything to share re the live today, please put it in the live stream thread. Yeah, and that way we can kind of keep all the information together, and we're like, okay, it was last week's thread. Someone asked for an almond joy recipe. That'll be there. So yeah. sorry. Thinking of Claire, I noticed your number one me. What? I don't understand. What am I number? Are you number one? Or I don't know. I don't know. And Sally's popped a link in for the fun zone. Good job, Sal. So yarn over. I nearly forgot it then. I nearly just went on without it. Okay, I'm just double checking because I'm like, oh my God, what if I was supposed to be doing all pearls and this stuff and I have not been, and then I'd have to tink back forever. Tink back forever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when I'm talking about tinking, I have a whole video. Oh, I understand Leanne's craft room. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate that. And do you know what? In her live stream yesterday, she 100% promised she was going to be here today, and she's just not. So, yeah, I don't even know what to say. A disappointment. Yeah. Just disappointment. Promises broken. I'll remember this, Claire. I'll remember when you broke the promises. Hi, Russell. Welcome to the chat. Russell's going to get here and it's going to be like, oh, now it's time for the computer to crash. Russell, we're watching the thermal speed of my Windows PC. And I'm just like, oh, we're trying to keep it cool. So, yeah. Like total pros. My Mac Mini has arrived. For those of you on the Mac Mini watch with me, it did arrive yesterday. I have set it up. It does not like my Logitech webcam like this one, so I set us back up on the Windows computer. So I was just like, luckily, because of how I'm setting it up, I wanted to make it easy to switch between the two. And it's legit easy to switch between the two, which I just love. So that's worked. I'm happy about that. Okay, I do need a yarn over there. So yeah, I'm very happy. And now, you know, I've got, I think all my bits and pieces have arrived. I ordered something from Amazon. I ordered a lot of things from Amazon, but I ordered something from Amazon that was supposed to be the perfect size to fit one of my little memory things in, right? It doesn't fit. Like it has one job. And I like double checked it, like making sure it's like, oh, maybe I've got the wrong memory to fit into this, not memory, hard drive to fit into this like little travel case. And I'm like, maybe it's that. No, because I've got two different models and neither of them fit. I'm like, oh, so annoying. So annoying. Oh my gosh, the temperature's going up. I do have backups here. Like if I disappear, I'll be back. Okay. It's so hot in this room right now. I've got the fan pushing the air conditioning in to try and just keep everything a bit on the cool side. I'm so stressed out. Oh my gosh. You've run out of gnome tape and it's now discontinued. Gnome tape? What do you use gnome tape for? I mean, I love the idea of it. I just don't know what it's for. I just took a picture of my C2C and the yarn I'm using. I've posted in the fun zone because I have an opinion question. We're very good at giving our opinions. Oh, the temperature just dropped down. Okay. Okay. Calming down. I'm calming down. Try not to keep an eye on the stats quite so hard, Chantelle. You're freaking out. You're freaking out. Deep breath. Oh, as in a washi tape. Oh, it's your packaging tape. Okay. All right. Okay. Put my coffee over there while I pour my tea. because the tea in the cup will be just so hot to drink that I will need to let it cool down a little before I drink it. Could you see the steam coming off that? Holy dooly. That's a lot of steam. We'll put that aside and we'll drink that in a few minutes. I don't know. Do you guys want to see how my setup looks now? I mean, maybe I'm the only one who cares. I could be the only one who cares. But yeah, if you guys want to see how it looks, then let me know. I've got a little camera here that I can zhuzh it around and show you. It's the roof cam. I took it off the roof because I thought maybe that'll work. But, you know, it's a Logitech issue. You like the colorful table? Yeah, this is just a big desk mouse pad thing. I love this thing. I'm actually thinking about getting another one because I'm a grub and I do work on it and I get like little bits of like rings of oil off spinning wheel things. And so I'd like one for working and one for streaming. And they're not even dear. Kathy would like a look. Hang on, I'll get to the end of this one. Now it's not going to be super steady because I'm going to hold it. All right, it's on a little tripod, but it's still me holding it. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do is change to desk view. All right. Okay, so we've got the old monitor laptop there, Mac Mini tucked down underneath. New monitor, old monitor, and there's like hardly any wasted space behind it. There we go, and like so much room on the desk. Like I used to have the tea and coffee like right next to the mouse pad thing, with like no room for caution. So, and also, Louis was just there a minute ago. He's left. He brought his toy. See how he brought his toy? Loves that toy. Okay. I hope that wasn't too seasick for everybody, that you're able to put up with it. Yeah. Always good to see other people's setup, guaranteed to be more organized than mine. Well, I mean, let's not look at my cable management, okay? Like, we will not be judging other people's cable management because my cable management is like, can I see it? Poke behind, let it fall down behind the table. It's like, I mean, I could just about weave with the cables that I've got down there. Right now, I am making the reversible Listato cowl from Laura Nelkin. She very graciously gave us permission to use it, to work on it as our project. But yeah, just it's awesome to do. I'm also using Half-Baked Hand Dyed's long color repeat sock ball. So it comes like that. I just basically had to pop out the end and I'm going, and it's doing all the color changing for me. So this, because of this yarn, it's just making this such an easy project and it looks so awesome. So, and I'll block it out a little to open out the lace when I block it out. But yeah, what's that thing that looks like an iPad or a big phone? It's an iPad. It's an iPad on the side. It's what my pattern's on. Hey, Bears Crochet Critters. Welcome to the chat. Not new to your channel, but first time making it to a live. Fantastic. Welcome. Is the yarn the Z ball? No, this is Half-Baked Hand Dyed is an Australian hand dyer, and she has an Etsy store, and this is a 8-ply sock yarn, so DK weight. So it's wool and nylon, and it arrived, and I said this last week, or the week before. I don't know. It arrived and I was just like, oh my God, so much squish. I have to make something with it right now. And I literally just put down what I was working on and just went and found knitting needles and just was like, it was crazy. I was just like, this has to be this. But it's half bake hand dyed DK or 8-ply long color repeat. John says, color change yarn gives me anxiety. I need to match the incoming color of a new ball with the outgoing color of the old. Look, I'm going to be pretty honest. Like, I mean, I'm normally pretty funny about the color changes as well. But in this particular project, it seems to be working just fine. I'm not super hyper noticing. Now, the one thing I will say is the color changes are quite like sudden. So it'll go from one stitch being this beautiful green to the next stitch being this soft, lovely blue. And there's no, like, she doesn't have any muddling. It's just like boom, boom. And it's witchcraft, I tell you. I don't know how she does it. There's no white spot. There's no muddling of color. It's just a perfect join. She's probably like sitting back going, geez, no pressure. No pressure. But yeah, love working with this yarn. This was one of my big wool show purchases. So I was like, it arrived and I was just like, oh my God, I need to work with this right now. And then I emailed Laura and I was like, Laura, can I pretty please use this as my on-camera project? So, but you know, in saying that, I did have a many years ago, I used it was one of the Swedish yarns. I think it was Swedish. I can't think of the name of it. It was a rainbow. I made a beautiful rainbow shawl out of it. And then there was a knot. And the knot jumped from one color to like 3 colors in the repeat. And because it was a striping shawl, it was blatant. It was just, there was no, because they did this tonal shift from one color to the next. And it was just this beautiful, I'm thinking my brain's giving me something beginning with a K, maybe. It's probably not right, but that's where my brain's going. County, Kauni. It was County yarn, County rainbow. And I was so upset. I was so angry that I actually called the yarn store that I bought it from. And I was just like, guys, like, seriously, this is beyond ridiculous. Like, I'm going to have to cut out half a repeat. And they were amazing. And they actually posted me an entire new ball. And I was just blown away at their generosity. Because I was just more like, okay, this is rubbish. Like, this is a rubbish, annoying situation. I need to vent. And I know it's not their fault. They're a yarn store and it was in a ball. And, you know, but I just wanted them to double check the other balls in that batch to make sure it wasn't a common occurrence. And yeah, they were amazing. Oh, hang on. I'm at the beginning of a next row and I went to do the wrong thing. Next row. Okay. That's why I have a different stitch marker from where I have my just markers for the repeats versus marker for the end of the row. So that's why I do it, because otherwise I just keep going round and round and round and round. Where she stops, nobody knows. So yeah. But yeah, so I've had some horror stories with some of the color repeats. But yeah, it's definitely, this has definitely been a joy so far, like an absolute joy to use. And I'm loving that. Like, I mean, I've got 160 odd stitches on this and I'm still getting a good few rows of color. Like a lot of self-striping, like sock yarns and stuff like that, we wouldn't be getting a whole row in each color. So when she says long color repeat, I mean, it is long. It's great. So yeah, with if you want to do something like this, if you're not going to do a manual change, like My first time making this, I made it with minis. So I had 25-gram minis of DK, and I used those, and I just sort of did 4 colors and just did 4 little blocks. Yeah. Bears Crochet Critters says, I use different markers or colored ones for the same reason. Absolutely. Sometimes we need that little visual interrupt just to remind us that it's time to do the next thing. I know that there's people out there that purl just as fast as they knit. I don't. I just don't. And I know there's other ways to do. I've tried to teach myself another, like there's about 3 or 4 different continental purls that I'm aware of, and I've tried all of them. There's one that I quite like the feel of, but I keep just going back to this one because this is the first one I learned. But there's one where you come in and you actually twist your hand rather than see, my finger tries to be so helpful. It's like I help. Oops, that's at the back. There we go. But yeah, there's a few different ones. So that, like, if your wrists for whatever reason can't do things, you always look around for a different way to do the same stitch. And if I'm like, if I'm doing a lot of like entrelac or something like color work that's not in the round, which I hate, I'll actually knit to the left and knit to the right. I won't purl it. So yeah. Well, have fun at your meeting. Thanks for dropping in. Color changing self-striping yarn is potato chip knitting. I'll just knit to the next color. Just one more stripe. I'll just knit to the next pink bit. Yes, absolutely. It's like me in reading a novel. Like, I'll just read to the end of the page. I'll read to the end of the paragraph. I'll read to the end of the page. I'll read to the end of the chapter. Oh my God, it's a cliffhanger chapter. I'll just read the first page of the next chapter. Yeah. Oh yeah, so Chintami, you're having a good play with all the different options as well. So that's awesome. Let me just look here. Yep. So who here in the chat is a knitter? Because we crocheted on this live stream for a really long, wrong way, Chantelle. Really long time while working on the Queen. We really did focus heavily on crochet. And I thought it was, time just to do a little bit of knitting. I mean, I've got more crochet plans coming. But knitting first, because I need my hands needed a little break, is what it was. But who here is like multi-craftual? Deb says, next year I'm planning on learning how to continental knit. Word has it that a good friend of mine has a good tutorial. Oh, really? Awesome. Knitter for life. That's awesome. Knitter and crocheter. I knit and crochet. I do both, but prefer to knit. I do knit. We know Kathy's like a madcap crocheter as well. Deb's a multi-crafter. I used to knit, but I find crochet quicker and more versatile. Holly says, I'm having a real issue with my thumb right now on my dominant hand, and it's so hard not to knit or crochet. Oh, Holly. Oh my gosh. That was me, like when I crushed my hand. So I what was it? It feels like, I want to say 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't even know how long ago now, but basically I crushed these 3 fingers, and I'm ambidextrous but right hand dominant. I couldn't do anything with my hand because I'd also damaged stuff in my arm and in my shoulder as well. And so I was like basically told, treat it like it's broken. Like the fingers were smushed, like they were painful, but treat it like it's broken. And so I colored in left-handed. that was my craft and my way to escape and not go insane. Was my daughter dug out one of her really cool Mandela coloring in books and gel pens, and I just colored in left-handed because I needed to do something. Here we go. I knit, I spin, and I sew. I crochet, knit, and spin and sew a bit. Awesome. I want to knit, but I can't follow patterns well and find it too slow. Francis, yeah. When we learn anything, it's going to be slow at the start, isn't it? And also, like, when you're used to, like, say, crocheting a blanket versus knitting a blanket, it's a totally different kettle of fish, but you also end up with totally different fabric. So you just have to decide, is it worth getting the stretchier fabric? You have to choose. Oops, wrong one. Wrong, don't do that. I do basic knitting occasionally, but I prefer crochet. Yeah, I practiced, like, when I first started knitting, well, when I used to knit, but poorly, and I did not enjoy the process. And then I was at a crochet guild, or not a crochet guild, the Queensland Spinners Guild at Auchenflower, and there was a lady there knitting, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, what are you doing? And she was like, I'm knitting. And I didn't realize at that stage that there were different types of knitting, and she was continental knitting. And I went home and I found a tutorial that was really bad lighting. The audio was crackly. It was horrible, but the actual tutorial itself was fantastic. And I replayed that 10 minutes over and over and over and over again till I got it. And then my first project, like my first proper project using it, was a jumper. So just a in the round jumper, just so, and it just, like, it was, the tension in that jumper was a mess, but I wouldn't recommend using a jumper for it, but it was definitely, it got me going. Currently knitting mini mittens when I'm not tied to the sewing machine. I also crochet and spin and weave. Awesome. I love all the mini things that you do at Christmas, Emma. Patchwork piecing today. Fun. I've always wanted to try the English paper piecing because I love the idea of being able to just sit on the couch and make a blanket. Like, that's my one big thing I don't like about sewing, is I'm tied to the sewing machine at a table, and this table can't do it because it shakes. My other little table over there, same deal. So I've got to use a dining table, and I always forget to roll a comfortable chair. So I'm there on a hard wooden chair for, like, sewing, and you know, I don't like it when I've got to do a lot of sewing. Like, a couple of hours I'm okay, but, like, if I'm sewing for, like, days, I end up like Quasimodo. Artsog says crochet for blankets, but I knit for practically everything else. Awesome. Kathy says I'm currently knitting a garter stitch blanket in Highland Heathers DK. Hang on a second. Is that the hang on. I think I've got Highland Heathers. I think that's what I'm working with. Hang on. I will tell you. Yes. I'm loving Highland Heathers. It's the yarn from the yarn in the kit for the fireside blanket is Highland Heathers. And it's so nice. I'm really shocked. I mostly knit, but do both. And a certain enabler may be responsible for me purchasing a yarn kit for a crochet blanket. I don't know who you're talking about. I have no idea. But my spring frost kit is over there staring at me. If that's the same one. Oh yeah, look at my name. That says it all, doesn't it? Knitter, spinner. Shocked. I'm shocked. Christina says I knit and I dabble in a crochet a bit. I'm really happy to see so many multi-craft jewels. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand why people find one craft and stick to it, right? I do understand. But I just feel like they're missing out when they're just like, nope, I only do this one thing and I'm not interested. I'm being blamed for a lot of things now. Yeah, certain enablers to blame for many, many things. Amelia says, I don't like English paper piecing, so I will say don't. However, you do you. I like that. I would love to have more of a chat about that, Amelia. So if you're doing patchwork piecing, is that's on a machine then, not hand done? And I would love to know why you don't like English paper piecing, just out of curiosity, because I've got some friends who love it, and I've got some friends who hate it. And I mean, I think one of the things that it looks to me is like, I get to sit on the couch, so it doesn't matter that it takes a million years to do anything. But it also feels like it would take a million years to get anything done. And my hand stitching is pretty woeful. I'm kind of hoping that doing that would make my hand stitching less woeful. Game Widow has been blaming Chantelle for stuff for years. We probably should put that on a shirt, Game Widows. Get rid of that reminder marker now. Dolores says it's in the mail. The spring frost blanket's coming. Oh my gosh. Yes, the Stylecraft Highland headers. Fantastic. Look, I think I got 12 colors in the kit for the fireside blanket, and they're all just so lovely. And they just work together so well. Like, Lucy just did an amazing job choosing colors, but I mean, she always does, right? Did you just change the water on your flowers, Abs? John says, I have paper piecing, but I don't know if it's English or not. Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe I don't know if maybe, I mean, I've only seen the one kind, but it doesn't mean it's not. Yeah, Chantelle made me do it. Perfect for a badge or a t-shirt. Yep. Amelia says, yes, machine mainly. I will hand piece. I find it hard to stitch with the paper. It does give good shape. Oh yeah, I would try something real small. I will not make a blanket or something to start with. I'll make, like, you know, a decorative piece for the dining table that's a bit round. That's about it. That's what I'll do. Hashtag blame for everything. Do you know what? I'm making a shirt because I was in a live stream. Just it says hashtag blame Steve. So you know, we could totally just go hashtag blame Fiverific. I'm okay with that. Oh no. Ooh. I really don't like it when I do that. I really don't like that. Leanne says, me, I'm that person. Crochet was for me only, but this year I did a small amount of hand stitching, and next year I plan my first knit project. Well, kinda. I've done some Fair Isle. Oh yeah, I'm not a knitter, but I've done some Fair Isle. Oh my gosh. It's like, let's just try one of the hardest knittings first. You know, no biggie. Oh my gosh. It's like me going, oh yeah, I've never done lace knitting, so I'm just going to lace knit this shawl and use beads that I've never used before either. Fiber arts has become a rabbit hole for me. I learned to crochet around 9, but didn't know much more than basics until 7 years ago. Now I also knit, spin, sewing. Yeah, I think, like, I find that there's normally one of the yarn crafts that ends up being a rabbit hole. So it's like a gateway drug. So you either knit first or crochet first or something. And then you're like, oh, I think I want to do this other thing. Hang on a second. Yes, Abby?
I personally think you should be wearing.
Oh, Abby's like upset at me because I bought myself Christmas earrings and I'm not wearing any right now.
I reckon you should wear the trees.
Oh yeah, I love the trees. I think the trees. No, I've got to check my ears later. So yeah, I haven't worn earrings in a really long time. Chintami says hi, Abs.
Hi.
Abby is a bit sick.
And I got my converters.
Oh, and we've got converters for Abby's ears so she can steal Christmas earrings.
Because my ears are.
Because she's only got one pierced ear. You can just wear one.
Okay.
Oh, here you go.
The reindeers are cute.
They're all cute. That's why I bought them, Abby. Sorry. So yeah, there's normally like one craft that she gateway drug, And then you're like, oh yeah, but I really want to spin this. Like, I really want this kind of yarn, this kind of fiber. I suppose I should try and spin my own. And then you start spinning, and then you end up with so much yarn. You're like, oh my gosh, I need a way to use up all this yarn. Crochet is faster than knitting. I'll crochet it. And then you're like, you know what? Weaving's faster than crochet. And yeah, it's just big hole. John says, I got the paper from the Missouri Star Quilting Company after watching. I love the Missouri Star Quilting Company's channel. My first project was one of theirs as well. I like whack at the end of every, like, anyway, like if you've watched a Missouri Star Quilting Company, you know what the quack is. In my family, we have a hexagon paper pieced quilt that generations had been worked on for a millennia. Mum finally finished it a few years ago. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the little tiny hexagons of paper. And I'm like, I'll just cut them out on the Cricut. Like, I'm not going to, I'm not going to work hard. Game Widow says I started a hexagon paper pieced quilt in 2001, still not finished. It sounds like how I do new crafts. What's really hard thing to learn on? Let me do that. Yeah. Can get a material instead of paper, and that's easier. I don't know the name of the material. I can share the shop I got it from. Yeah, Amelia, pop it into the Fiberfic Fun Zone live stream chat. Absolutely. I'm okay with that in there. Like, it's part of our conversation. Wear one like a pirate. Yeah, abs. Like everyone in chat saying hi, and they're telling you to wear one earring like a pirate. Well, John is, not everybody. Yeah, the trees are cute. The trees really caught my attention. The other thing that caught my attention that I nearly bought were these little like green sparkly T-Rexes with a Santa hat on them. I nearly got them. So yeah. Yeah, Christina, that's right. And then suddenly you're Googling how much land alpacas need. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Dolores says the story of my life. I started knitting and then crocheting and then began spinning, and now there's a loom. Yep. Oh my gosh, I still want a Saori loom. Guys, I'm going to find the photo, but I have a photo of Abby dressed up as a pirate when she was like 6. Adorable. I'll share it in the fun zone. Shh. But yeah, it is definitely one of those. There's usually one. There's usually one that's your gateway drug. And then you just fall down the rabbit hole. And then you're like, oh, well, I've already got a wheel. I may as well get a loom or 3. So I wasn't going to weave. No, don't need another hobby. Then someone gave me a rigid head loom. Now I have 2 and an inkle loom and some pin looms, and I bought a floor loom. Yeah, I mean, can I relate? Totally can relate. I'm like, I'm not allowed to buy the Saori loom until I sort the house out, because we've got a serious space issue problem. And it would not go down well if another loom or such thing appeared. Oh, hang on. I started that early. So I definitely need to do that. Oh, the T-Rexes were amazing. And because my nickname's Rexy because I've got short arms. So I thought they were really appropriate. And then I don't know why I didn't get them. I think it was because they were quite large. And I like light earrings because I very rarely wear earrings. So I tend to either go like super light earrings or super small earrings. So yeah, but it was very cute. It was at one of those La Visa stores. If you're in Australia, you know what they are. So yeah. Oh, we're getting ready to change colors. That was pretty cool. It's a shame you guys didn't see that. I think it was because it was on the table that you can't see that it did the spin so nicely. It just went bring. Alison says, I'm putting together a weaving order right now. You know what? I realized I did not put my loom that I really want on my Christmas wish list. Like, I can't see my husband actually ever getting it for me, but I didn't even give him the opportunity to decline. So I'll remedy that later. I'll put it on the list because I've got so much yarn. and then I can weave up fabric to turn into bags. That's what I'd love to do, is use my own fabric. And sew with it. And I've got some fine like yarns, like super fine, like finer than lace weight, on massive cones that I could totally use as well. A wild loom appears. Yeah. It could be. Claire's is a bit bigger, I think. Lavisa's stores are normally like little thin, narrow stores in a shopping center that just sell like bits of jewelry. So, whereas Claire's tend to do like phone cases and other stuff as well. Yeah. Yeah, earrings are one of those things. It's like if you haven't worn them in a while, you certainly don't want to be trying to put them on camera. That's for certain. It's like, oh, blood. Oh, no. It's going. I'm going to make sure it fits in. So, yeah. I put boat shuttle, inkle loom, and fringe twister on my Christmas list, and my family thought I made the words up. Oh, man, they have to just Google it, right? Absolutely. I've actually got a boat shuttle here that I bought for my one of my rigid heddles, and I think it's still in its packaging. Like, I've never even used it. It's because I was like weaving, loving it. Should buy some new things, bought some new things, put away the loom, and haven't woven since. No reason, just haven't. They should know better by now. Yeah. I remember like trying to explain to Tim like the difference between like a lazy Kate's and niddy noddies, and like some of the things that you use for spinning have got some like janky names as well. So we're going to come up to a color change soon, so I'll be able to show you guys how she does it. Okay. Well, not how she does it, but just how it looks. I need to make myself finish the tea towels on my floor loom. The warp has been on there for months. Yeah, you need to finish your tea towels. There it is. I see it. I see the color change. I see the color change. Where are we? So keep it going. I think my tea should be cool enough to drink. Okay, let's have a sip of tea. Alrighty. Sounds logical. Is the lazy Kate related to the lazy Susan? Because that would explain why they're both like lazy. No, they're not related. It's too cold now. Where's it? We'll just put a bit of the hot in the cold to make it good. So the tea I have is my T2 licorice legs. I actually found I can buy it on Amazon, sometimes way cheaper than I can get it in store. And then because I've got Amazon thing, I can get the delivery for free. So I'll be doing that because I'm nearly out. I think fiber is genetic at this point. Oh my gosh. I'm planning tea towels as my first project once I finish the 4-shaft weaving class. Fantastic. When my Portuguese ancestors came over, they were rum runners during Prohibition. Oh my gosh. It's definitely genetic. My grandma spun, so did my mum. I do, and so does my daughter. Well, you know what? I'm an anomaly because my mum doesn't knit or crochet or spin or weave or do anything. Yeah, and neither did my nana. So I had to learn from like in-laws. So yeah. Oops, I forgot to yarn over, didn't I? I would have suffered for that later. I am an anomaly. I don't mind being an anomaly. Abby has taken interest on occasion. When she was about 10, she was spinning and knitting like all the time. It was amazing. If she wasn't on a dirt bike, she was spinning or knitting. But that changed. She grew up and she, it's not cool. So I'm kind of just waiting for it to become cool again for her to make her own stuff. And then I'll be like, and here is your own set of amazing tools. And here are some crates to store your stuff in, because we all need crates. And I will, pull out something out of retirement and dye her something special. No, it's good. I'm doing the right thing. Doing the right thing for the pattern. It's important. My mum doesn't do anything crafty. I had to learn from Jada Stitches. Jada in Stitches. Sorry. Yeah, I think she will. I mean, I'm hopeful. A bit, but not too much. Just a little. Crocheting definitely runs in my family. I'm lucky to have all my great grandmother's old crochet hooks I learned from my grandmother. Mum also crochets and sews. Oh wow. Chantelle, yes, there are ways of missing fixed yarn overs. So if you go back, if you go back and realize it on the next row, you can actually just yank it and invent one. But if you're 2 rows up, you need to drop it down, drop your stitch down, create one, and then come back up again. You can totally add them in. It's just better to just not forget them. So, but if you do forget them, you can go back and fix it, which is, what I did the other day when I realized I'd missed one there. But it is definitely easier just to do it right the first time. Probably like most things, really. Like if you could just do it right the first time, the fix is irrelevant. I learned to spin with my mum when I was 10, and I came back to it after I had kids. Oh, there you go. I could be waiting. Oh, I nearly forgot. Look, there's your color change. So it's just buttered up perfectly. No choice in my family. All knitters and crocheters and sewing types, even milliners. Not too many spinners, though. Dad thinks my spinning has to do with the Scottish DNA memory. I mean, my mum's family are English, Irish, and Scottish, so there's a good chance that, there's something there. But I don't know. I also just like to constantly learn new things. So I just think how my brain works, it was inevitable, because I would probably need to find something to learn how to do that didn't, that I could do while I was a bit sore or a bit broken. And it's the perfect thing for that. Like when my legs are being like butt faces and I can't move around too much, I can just sit and make a thing. We kept her wheel. It was really special to learn to spin on her wheel as an adult. That's beautiful, knit spin girls. I've got a new head thing coming for my little gem. Now, like, do you want anything particular? I'm like, I'm happy to have a Franken wheel, like whatever's around. I don't mind. I think Franken wheels are fun. Sometimes at the Margicraft spinning retreats, they'll put together wheels like because you know natural timber has variations. So when they build a wheel, they try to get all of the pieces to match as much as possible, which they're very good at. But sometimes like the workshop will have these random sort of bits that just have never matched up to anything. And then just before the retreats, because there's a lot of international visitors who need to borrow wheels, they'll make up all these Franken wheels. And then they sell the Franken wheels. And I'm like, I wish I could buy a Franken wheel, but I got to try and get it home. So they're Franken wheels because they're like Frankenstein's, a bit of this wood, a bit of that wood, a bit of this wood, you know. It's all still the right shapes and parts and everything. It's just the colors of the wood are a bit off. But I actually love that. So I'm kind of hoping it's a fair bit different than the rest. No, my luck will come, it'll be like a perfect match. Oh yeah, they totally still work. So it's a brand new wheel that's being constructed. It's just the colors of the timber are just like the colors of the timber don't match. It's still all the right parts to build a wheel. It's just, you know, two treadles might be two different, like slightly, you know, two different. One could be a darker sort of wood. They're still the same kind of wood. It's just different batches of the wood. It's totally, it works perfectly, like no issues at all. My mum tried to teach my left-handed sister crocheting. It was awkward, though she got it in the end. Yeah, I just learned how to crochet lefty just so that I could teach lefties. It was actually part of the training I did. It was one of those things that you had to do. So that's one. So I need to do one more. Yep, we're nearly up to the next round. I was thinking we must be getting there pretty soon. Yarning over. That's what I'm doing. Yarning over. Yeah, it's a mixed eyelet wheel, kind of like that. Yeah. Yep. That's a good way to think about it. Like close, but no cigar. Like the colors are close, but they're obviously not the same. Sally says, I was actually fine watching and learning from a right-handed crocheter, but when it came to knitting, I was totally confused. Yeah, look, I can knit left, but I can't purl right. So I don't know if I'd be any good at teaching a crochet. I mean, I suppose I don't know why I couldn't purl right. I learned how to knit. I don't know why I couldn't purl left. I learned how to knit right. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it also means the patterns are mirrored as well, I think. Come back here. I want you there. Oh, nearly lost it. Nearly lost the stitches. My mum was a lefty. She taught herself how to crochet with books and mirror. Okay. Patterns are mirrored. Yep. I can imagine. Like it's fine if something's symmetrical, but yep. My hand's like, it's time to do something different. It's time. Oh, I know. Good. I'm doing the right things. Like my brain's just on autopilot now. Just double checking all the yarn overs are in there. Okay, we are on to the next row. Knit that one to put the stitches down. I like to knit either the stitch after a stitch marker or the stitch before it, like leave it the stitch before, because otherwise I stand up and I'm wearing all the stitch markers and they're doing me no good marking stitches. John, it's a wooden yarn bowl that's just sitting over there. It's legit a yarn bowl. I could go and get it, I suppose. I don't know if it'll stay. This is one of those Knit Picks yarn bowls. Mine arrived with a big scratch in it, so that was awesome. I don't know if I'd recommend them. They're nice and light. I mean, they're heavy enough, but they're not super heavy. I think I prefer the clay ones personally, but you know, it does the job mostly. Left-handed friend of mine knit me a pair of socks. They were bad. The left one only fit my right foot. Oh my gosh. Really? I mean, my socks are usually the same. I don't normally do a left and a right. Everyone show your bowls in the fun zone. Yeah. I remember like when we were doing the lace knitting, someone put in a link for a pattern on how to do a little crocheted one that held your yarn all in one piece. So I loved that one too. So yeah, but yes, if you've got a yarn bowl, put it into the fun zone. I would love to see it. See what everybody's using. And if you don't use a yarn bowl for a ball that will roll around, what do you use? I mean, I quite often will just use a bucket or a washing basket or something, whatever's handy, whatever I can just reach over and grab. I have one. I rarely use it. Yeah. For me, it was like I bought the Knit Picks Swift ball winder and bowl kit because it was on special and it worked out the same price as the ball winder and Swift. So I was like, I might as well have the extra thing for free. So yeah, some tools you need, some not so much. Yeah. Some are nice to have. Some are, oh my God, how can I live without it? We're getting there. We've gone through some color today. I use project bags. Yeah. I usually tuck the ball into my project bag next to my chair. Yep. This project doesn't actually have a project bag. It sits here on the desk. I could probably just leave it hanging out in the yarn bowl, honestly. Oh, Louis back. Oh, Louis gone again. Abby must have done something that looked like fun because he just ran out of here. He's just like toddled in and sat on his little blanket and then just looked at the door and just ran out the door. Bear says, I've had a bowl for a year and kept forgetting to use it. A few days ago, I pulled it out and it really does help. I don't know why I didn't use it. Yeah. Yep. Oh no. I mean, I would use my mobile phone. The torch on my mobile phone. That's what I would use. Where am I doing this? Here we go. I've been knitting without a yarn bowl for decades. I bought one a few months ago and I love it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like we don't need it. We can totally get along without it. But it stops the balls from running everywhere. And if you've got pets, like, I mean, I've normally got to guard everything from Louis. He is obsessed with yarn. I remember Georgie was the same. It was so hard crafting next to Georgie. But Louis is getting better. Now it's a case of he'll let me craft for a couple of hours, but then he'll be like, I'm nicking your yarn because I would like to go outside and run around. So you're going to chase me until you get sick of that. I'll let you have the yarn and then you'll open the door and let me out. I know his game. I've learned also that if I just go and open the door, he drops the yarn and runs out the door. So I don't have to chase him. Ha ha ha. That is a messy link, Leanne, but it does the job. And just to throw it out there, you guys, if ever you're looking at knit picks, try and use the knit picks link off the Fibrific website, because that's an affiliate link for me. I do get a little bit of a commission at no extra cost to you. Yeah, it's so good. No more retrieving the yarn ball from under your bed. Yeah. Oh, he is, Chintamani. He's just looking after me. He's like, you've been still for too long. It's time to move. He's like having an Apple Watch without having an Apple Watch. It's time to stand up. Oh, no, it got broken where the yarn feeds through. Gosh. Oh, that's all right, Leanne. Yeah, sometimes it'll actually copy, like, it'll copy the link that's being hidden. So, yeah. Yeah, I love a good yarn butler, Amelia. The Chow Goo one was really nice. There's one that I've seen. Where did I see it? And it's kind of like it suspends the yarn ball from the air, so it's not actually spinning on a thing. But yeah, I like that one too. I haven't tried it, but it looks good. Oh, I've done something wrong there. Oh yeah, I just can't count. That's what I've done wrong. Counting is important when you're knitting. 2, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Thanks, Sal's popped in the knit picks tidy link. So who here has something yarn related on their Chrissy wish list? So I'm just having a think, and I don't think I actually have anything yarn related on my Chrissy wish list. I'm just having to think what I've got on there. I've got mostly like things like experiences. We have this thing with our family. So before you get all like, oh my gosh, she writes a massive list. We write a huge list. Like it's ridiculous. So that whoever's doing the purchasing or the gift giving has a great choice of all different types of things, knowing they're all things that you actually want, but also knowing that there's so many things that if it's under the tree, there's no way to know what it is. So you still get a surprise, even though you wrote the list. So John says, I had a Swift and a blocking board on my list, but I bought them. You mean aside from more yarn? Yeah, I do. Francis says, I've been so busy, I haven't even thought about my own wish list. Oh, oh, oh. I counted it. And I went, yep, time to start and then did the knit instead of a purl. Like a donkey. Like a donkey. I'm saving for my new spinning wheel I'm saying my new spinning wheel is from Santa. Oh, awesome. I'm hoping to ship that out next week, FYI. Tim's going to go down to because it's in our storage unit. So I'm going to go and get it. I did it again. Counted it. Went, yep, time to purl, and then started knitting. What is with that? Okay, started the purls. That's easier. I tried to find a trio pack over there and mostly packs nothing about a trio. I don't know how to search over there. Where is over there? If you're talking about the Knit Picks Skein Swift and Bowl thing, you just go under their tools and look for ball winders, and it comes up under the packs. Oh, nice. I like that, Leanne. Sal says, we don't do Christmas presents for adults, and I don't have anything I want or need for my birthday, which is also a week before. Tim and I gift to each other, but we don't and then we'll do our parents, but we don't really do many others. I went for fiber this year from hubby. I got a Beersheba fiber bundle for my birthday, and I have a Cashmere Connections Lucky Dip coming for Christmas. Not complete surprises, but feeling very spoiled. Oh yeah, and they'll be beautiful. Wool combs from Bear's Crochet Critters. Nice. Love good tools. They will last forever. Oh, we're at the end of the round. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it was the Swift ball winder and yarn bowl. It's a pack from Knit Picks. It was a trio of tools. I think that's what you're talking about there. Okay. And then, okay. I'd love a Lewitt table loom. Not sure I could handle more than one art, so I'd never have time to craft. I mean, that's an excellent point. John says, I can't wait till winter properly arrives here so I can break out my nice hand-dyed cashmere merino scarf. Oh my gosh, that does sound amazing. I can't wait for summer to go away. We've had summer for about 3 days now. And I'm done. I am done. Put a pin in it. And who knows, next week we might be live streaming with some different software. Have a play with some new toys if I can make everything work and be happy. I was going to try and do that today, but I couldn't make everything do the things without stressing me out. So rather than stress me out with that, I'm just going to let the laptop stress me out with its thermal throttling. So yeah. That's what I went with. It's less stressful dealing with thermal throttling, even though I know it could totally shut down the machine. Yeah, it's summer's been here for 3 days, and that's 3 days too long. Yep. See, I don't go to the beach, Francis. If I go to the beach, I stay up away from the burning sand. I like walking along the beach when it's cold or colder. I don't swim in the ocean anymore. I've got a fear of sharks, so I don't generally go in the salty waters. I've had 2 close calls. I think the third, I don't think my luck will hold out for a third. So I just avoid it. I'll wade. I'll wade in the ocean. Yeah. A bucket of ice water near the computer, could that help keep the... I mean, probably not, because then there'd be condensation as well. I'd like it to keep dry. I've got air conditioning out in the house being sucked in by a fan, blowing it to right next to the computer, so that when it draws its own air in, it's drawing in cooler air. Seems to be doing the job for the most part. So yeah, we seem to have gone okay today, which is nice. She says probably too early. If I lived in Australia, I'd never leave the house. Sharks are the least of the worries in Australia. Oh, no. I mean, yeah. And see, Chantelle, I'm with you as well. I get sunburnt. I have to. I'm allergic to a lot of the ingredients in most sunscreens, so I have to decide. Like if I'm only going to be out for a little bit, I don't wear sunscreen, because I have to decide if the chemical burn is going to be worse than the sunburn. So I tend to stay inside a lot, or at least in the shade. So, yeah. What did I do there? Oh, no, I did the right thing. It's okay. I'm just like so used to me just doing the wrong thing. I'm just like, what have I done wrong? And it's like, the answer is nothing. Nothing. You did nothing wrong. Everything is fine. It is correct. I have 5 fan laptop cooler thingy, helps keep it a lot. Yep. Snake, spiders, lizards, weird mammals. Don't forget the drop bears. All stop emergency. Vampirus lost a hook. Oh my God. Everybody stop. Everyone stand up and shake it off and see if you can find Vampir's hook. Oh my gosh. My husband keeps working in the garden while I'm watching you, and he keeps bringing potatoes that he's grown to show me. We're going to be eating potatoes for weeks. I would say a nice big batch of potato salad sounds really, really good. Oh, no, wrong. Did Vampire find her hook? We need to know. This is important information for us all. I wear a full sleeve rashi and have a shade sail. I wear a full sleeve rashi as well, but my face and neck still get it, and my legs still get it. Do you know where it really hurts to get sunburnt? The tops of your feet. That really hurts. Code 2319. 2319. Oh, wait. Crisis averted. It was where she left it. Oh my gosh. My thing would be, I would, like, when I used to have my hair in a ponytail, I would always put my hooks in my hair, like through the elastic of my ponytail, and I'd be walking around going, I cannot find my hook anywhere. And Tim and Abby just giggle at me, and I wouldn't even realize what was going on for ages. And yeah, then eventually, like, because I'd be digging, and Tim's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm looking for another hook the same size." And he's just like, "No, no, no, it's in your hair." A vampire syrup got buried under my yarn trimmings. Gardening has become his new midlife crisis. Oh my gosh. I mean, hey, look, you know what? With the cost of groceries at the moment, if he's growing you guys some food, like, that is gold. That's basically gold. My nose used to get really badly sunburnt to the point it blistered. Surprise, I still have it actually. Your nose. Yeah, I always blister. So I burn, blister, peel every time, which is why I don't go in the sun. Really, because all three of those steps are horrible. Just so you know, I don't like any of them. So big hats, sunglasses, there's a one hypoallergenic sunscreen I found, but not everywhere stocks it, and I can't always get it. But if I get it, I'll buy a couple of tubes of it. Feels horrible. It's greasy and gross. But I don't get all skin peely, so that's nice. Is that an overshare? Is that an overshare, everybody? Um, when I was on my way out to work, my boss would remove me full of stealing back all the pens you stole, is basically what they were doing. Gosh. I burn and peel, then go back to pale. No chance for me. Yeah, me too. Yep. I might get, like, if I just get a little bit of sun, like just a little, like 5 minutes. And if I do that every day for a few weeks, then I do notice that my skin tone has changed. But if I'm like outside for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, like especially in the heat of the day, I am toast. I just become this lobster monster. Tim's always like, "Why didn't you put on sunscreen?" It's like, because I didn't think I was going to be out there that long. So, yeah. The whole backyard is now fruit, veggies, and chickens. Oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome, Alison. I mean, except for the whole abundance of potatoes. Maybe you can trade potatoes with somebody who's doing like something else. Yeah, it looks like there's a few of us in the same boat. Lobster red or so blindingly white we hurt people's eyes. Yeah. Yeah, and what's really funny is most of my family are like, Aboriginal descendants. So they're all not. They are beautiful, brown skin, gorgeous. And when they get tan, they tan even nicer. And I'm just like jealous. That's really what I'm just jealous, is really what it boils down to. And like even the difference, like me and my brother Daniel and my brother Luke, the three of us are just so different. Luke is like a little tanning machine. Daniel is worse than I am. And yeah, Dad's just like this, basically goes and lays in the sun dipped in olive oil or something and becomes this beautifully brown roasted, just, yeah. I'm like, nah, can't do it. Dad was like, back in the day before we knew better, he was a coconut oil suntanner, because we always lived on the beach. Like, I love the beach and I love the ocean. I just don't like to be in it. I like to be next to it. And I think that's why, like, because I probably spent a huge portion of my childhood in the ocean, which probably explains why I've had so many close calls with sharks. Between surfing and body surfing and water skiing and swimming and all the things, there's a good chance I would get up close and personal with some, bitey fish. So like every day after school, I'd be down, going for a swim. Water is my relaxation place. So when I was like 10 or 11, we lived at this house that had like a calm beach just right out the back of it. And I had a rope and a tire, and I would float out and read a book and just sit there in the silence and just read a book. My brothers were very annoying. I would do a lot to get away. And that's when one of the places my mum's come screaming out of the house. My dad's running down a little hill to where the rope is, and they're like, just hold on. And they've pulled me in just as I felt the shark come under me, because they were above me. And because it was just, it wasn't a big hill, it was just a little hill, but they were just above enough that they could see the shark shadow come under me. And yeah, that was a bit terrifying. And I think it was also because of their reaction. But yeah, shark skin feels like sandpaper. It does. Very, 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 very stubbly. And we're at the end of that row. Freaky says somebody forgot to hit the like button. Oh my God. Who was that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Leanne, we are. We're just so much more aware of what different like tanning solutions and stuff can, sun, very bad. It does, like a cat tongue. Yeah. That's probably a great description of it. Very, very similar. I'm gonna get this fourth round in. Come on, little marker. There we go. We can get a fourth round in 7 minutes, right? We can totally do it. Six and five, yes. Yes, cat tongues are made of shark skin. That's right. That's exactly right. 2, 4, 6. Okay, still can't count. Still can't count. So that's awesome. 2, 4, 6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to jinx myself here, but I don't believe I've made any massive boo-boos this time around. So that's nice. That's a nice win for me. Not after last time, and I had to do some serious tinkering to fix it. And I was like, I could just totally keep knitting on this, but I was like, no, put it back, go and work on a different project. This one we have approval to work on during live streams. Oh, sorry, John. Sorry. I won't count out loud anymore. 1, 2, 3, 7, 12. I can get my hubby got bitten by a small shark, 13 punctures in his hand, and very, very high voice for a few seconds. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah. Wabadoo. Yeah. Did you miss? Yeah, you did miss the color change. You did. Yeah. It was like rows ago. Rows ago. I mean, we might, I don't know if we'll get the next color change in this round. It might be the one after. I even stopped and pointed it out for ages. Where were you? Oh, messing with the light. Sorry. Yes, you were. Hi, Taylor. Welcome to the chat. My internet. Oh, your internet was unhappy at the color change. Well, I mean, we could keep going till we get to the next color change. It's not going to be too far into the next round, I don't think. I'm getting more and more great whites here because of the seal population has exploded. People are surprised, like they filmed Jaws here. Why are you surprised? Yeah. Also, seals are sharks' favorite food, which is why they, yeah. Trish says, just caught you moments ago. Sad because I'm going to lose it. Yarn chicken on my jumper. Oh, no, Trish. Oh. Anything you can do? Or is it just wait for more yarn? Because sometimes, if you needle crochet a bit faster, you can beat it. Yep, tighter, knit faster. Yep, they all tend to help a little, sort of. Oh, not the color you need to get creative. Oh, that's frustrating. I'm so sorry that's happened. I hate when you're playing yarn chicken and you don't know till the end, then start. Yes, that's exactly right. That one annoys me. You're so in the zone with what you're doing, you don't even realize the end is near. I have to go. It was nice talking with you all. Have an awesome week, Bear. We'll be on the same bat time, same bat channel next week. Trish says might have a shorter sleeve. That's not a bad idea. And then you can, have you got both sleeve? Like, have you done the other sleeve already? Oops, what am I doing there? The wrong thing is what I'm doing. We're getting there. I'm just looking at this. We've only got a couple more bits of this yarn. We're trying to race the clock and race the end of the row. No sleeves yet, going short. Yep. Okay. All right. We're going to have to start the next row. Yeah. Oh, I know. But that was think of it like sort of like a pearl row. There was no yarn overs needed on that row. So that's good. This is one I've got to watch more. This one's got yarn overs galore. Oops. I split the stitch. It's not split the stitches. Knit 2, yarn over. Then we're so close to the yarn color change here, it's not funny. I'm just doing this for you guys so you can see the next color change. Trish says, I'm knitting faster just watching. Sorry, Trish. Can you see how the color's now just nearly in my hand? We've nearly done it. We've nearly gotten to the color change. I mean, we technically have. There it is there. There you go. I'm crocheting slow, watching her knit fast. Oh my gosh. This will probably make you cringe, John, because it's going to be like, you know, a quarter way through a round. We're going to change colors. Here it comes. To next color. There you go. And I'll end off there. But we made it to the new color. It's looking really nice. And it's so squishy, you guys. It's so squishy. So I've got to, this is extra shaky today. I've got to work out why, but there we go. Thank you for all hanging out while we got to that color change. And whoops, just make it bang and hit things. So I'm going to put that aside and we'll work on that again next week. And unless I get, you know, I need a break from whatever I'm working on, I'm going to leave that in its bowl. Just shoved it in like in the corner over here on the table with its humbug until next week. Yeah, that's freaky. That's the thing. The color change is nice. It is not like a long, like drawn out, like couple of stitches worth of like difference. It's just like boom, like light blue, dark blue, and you know, just a tiniest little bit of a, you know, overlap of the two of the colors, and it doesn't muddy. So I'm not sure how she's doing, but yes, I'm so blown away. So that's half baked hand dyed DK long color stripes. I don't know if she's got any in her stall at the moment. They take a lot of work to make, apparently. Shocking. So you can see all the color changes in my C2C in the fun zone. I will be going to check that straight after this call. It has been so much fun, you guys, and so good to see you all here in the live chat. Can't wait till next week. We are creeping closer, ever closer to Christmas. I will probably be missing 2 weeks of live streams, the Thursday before Christmas and then the Thursday after, possibly, maybe not the Thursday after. I'll judge that one. But the Thursday before, I'll be in crazy, you know, cooking mode for the whole family. So yeah, we might do something short just so that I can have a break from what I'm doing, or not, but it's still a few weeks away yet, so we can discuss that more down the track. Trish, I start these live streams at 10 a.m. Thursday Brisbane time. So you'll need to convert that in your calendars. I tend to add things to my Google calendar at like whatever their local time is, like so, like say 10 a.m. Brisbane time, and then in my calendar it shows the proper time. And then we go for 2 hours. But there's also the Fiberific Fun Zone, which is our Facebook group that's really just mostly you guys who join in the live chats. You know, whether you're here today or you're watching the replay, the Fiberific Fun Zone is where we post all our photos and links of everything we've discussed during the live chat. So John's photos will be in there, and everyone who's been talking about the things will be in there. So I will see you all next time. I hope you have a fantastic week. And be good, or be good at it. I don't know. Like, you choose. I'm not the boss. Bye now.